ban on women driving. But on Friday, they were detained for a few hours after being caught behind the wheel. Our Mohammed Jamjoon has been following their campaign. He joins us now from Beirut with more details. What can you tell us, Mohammed?
Well, Sarah, what's so remarkable about what's happening in Saudi Arabia right now is that these women that are going out into the streets and driving are doing so despite the threats that they're receiving from the clerical establishment there and despite the warnings that they've gotten from the Interior Ministry. I spoke to Aziza al-Yousef. She went out to run some errands on Friday. She was detained for about 3 hours because she was caught behind the wheel. Here's what she told me. With her face covered, you can't see the boldness in her eyes. Here, her appearance is traditional, conservative, but her actions are anything but. Everything's normal, explains activist Aziza al-Yousef. Nobody to the left or right of me seems to have a problem with a woman driving a car. But this being Saudi Arabia, it didn't take long for the police to pull her over. Aziza says she and her female passenger were detained for close to 3 hours. Aziza, why did you decide to go driving that day?
Well, why not? Why not?
No longer hidden behind that veil, her daring completely apparent.
We are sick and tired of waiting to be given our rights. It's about time to take our rights.
Aziza's voice has been one of the loudest, demanding women in her homeland finally be given the right to drive. Since October, dozens of Saudi females have taken to the streets, a remarkable display of civil disobedience. Aziza tells me via Skype there was nothing extraordinary in the errands she had to run on Friday, that there was no driver available to take her. Buying bananas, all seemed fine.
And also, I stopped to fill up gasoline. The guy in gasoline station interact with me very normally. He asked me what kind of gasoline you want.
But the excursion came to an end when she was taken to a Riyadh police station. Saudi officials didn't respond to a request for comment. Aziza says she was only released after her husband signed a pledge stating she wouldn't drive again.
I didn't think I would stop driving ever. But yes, there is a chance of any woman who is asking for her rights, not only driving, will face jail. Because there is no clear laws that we can count on.
That lack of clarity far more difficult to navigate than these clogged roads. Still, Aziza's decision is final. She'll continue pushing the envelope by pressing the gas pedal. Aziza told me that after she was taken to the police station that her experience was one that was both demeaning and funny. She says it was demeaning because she couldn't be released until her husband, who is considered her guardian in Saudi Arabia, would come there and sign for her release. She said it was funny because he was made to sign a statement saying that he would make sure that she was banned from driving after this incident. Her husband laughed at that suggestion, said he'd sign it, but that really it was only God who would be able to prevent her from driving. Sarah?
She's definitely made it clear that she's going to make some decisions on her own. The women activists that you've been speaking with over these past months, do they believe that they're getting closer to perhaps being able to change the government's mind?
There are indications that the government has really taken notice and that they are trying to work with these women in some way. Case in point being that in the last week you had a remarkable meeting happen in which two activists, including Aziza, they went and they had a teleconference meeting with the Minister of Interior in Saudi Arabia. Now, they were told in that meeting that this is now basically in the hands of the king and that it's really the king who will have the ultimate decision as far as if women will be granted the right to drive. The other woman who was in that meeting, another very prominent Saudi writer and activist named Hala al-Dosari, and I spoke with her via Skype as well. She was in Saudi Arabia. She said it was good that that meeting happened, but she also told me about what she wants to see happen from here on out. Here's more of what she had to say.
Well, definitely I would like to hear that they are lifting the ban, because I think we have given them enough information to make the decision. We've uploaded enough videos of women. We have raised enough petitions over the last 2 decades. So I think they have enough reason to consider women's demands, that this is something legitimate and it's not associated with any ill intentions.
The critics of this movement say that, look, there's only a few dozen women that have driven in the past few months, and that says that this movement is really a failure, that the campaign hasn't picked up steam. The women who are participating in the campaign say, look, we've garnered tens of thousands of signatures, petitions that we're presenting to the Interior Minister, to the King, and the fact that in such a closed society, women in Saudi Arabia are taking to the open road and uploading pictures of themselves doing so on sites like YouTube, using their real names to sign these petitions. That says they've broken through some sort of fear barrier, and they believe that this campaign of civil disobedience will bring about real change there. Sarah?
All right. Thank you so much. Mohammed Jamjoon there live for us in Beirut on the continuing pressure from some women to try to get the chance to drive in Saudi Arabia. Now, people